Hey, beloveds. Here's what I'm wrestling with this week and really over the course of these months. And I'm wondering whether you are too, and how you're working with this particular struggle. The congregation that I serve, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Gwinnett, is using these themes. And in November, the theme is nurturing gratitude. And in December, the theme is choosing hope. And every time it comes around that it's my turn to develop and co-create and lead worship around these themes, I'm really confronted with how gratitude and hopefulness are wonderful, positive, core, life-giving qualities. And are they, how out of tune are they with what's going on in our world? And let me get super specific. You know, the government shutdown was finished this week, and there are a whole lot of opinions about the harm of coming back into government when so many crucial issues have not been decided, and the whole struggle around who has power and what are they going to do with that power, and who gets harmed and who gets privileged, who gets to stay comfortable or become more comfortable, more advantaged, gets richer and more powerful, and who gets more cut out of life-giving, life-saving benefits and just situations, and who's left to suffer from these compromises and decisions. And so what I notice is that a lot of people like me who have been really trying for most of my life to understand why the heck we human beings create these systems of dominance and systems of oppression. Not just why, but how. And how am I implicated in them? And who's getting harmed? Where are my identities in danger? And where am I having an easier life because of who I am and how I appear? And how do I participate in the great healing of the world, of the country, and of our humanity? So one of the things that I've learned is to try to look at the complex truths of any situation, right? So there are some folks who feel that who see that there are advantages to coming out of the government shutdown. Of course, people get to go back to their jobs, people are going to get paid, and all kinds of things. And others want to be sure that we understand that the harm and the dangers are so profoundly present. And I guess I find myself, when it comes time for me to talk about nurturing gratitude, as I will this week, I guess I find myself right on that razor's edge, wanting to hold all of it. And also recognizing that even in the holding of the complex nature of our realities, of who's winning and who's not, that we have to have these qualities, these practices of gratitude and even hope. At least I do, in order to stay in the fight to make things better. So even as I take in, it's like doors swinging open, right? The doors swing open and let forth a tide of news and perspectives that help us to see, yes, this is happening, and here are all the things that are wrong with it. I also need to come through those portals the maybe not the good things about the news, but the good things in our lives. Whew, you can see how I'm struggling with this because even as I'm talking, I'm have my wonderful inner critic telling me how oversimplified this is and how general and non-specific it is. So I'll fix that before I talk on Sunday. but um, but I think my fundamental question is, can you can you keep going on when you're fueled by anger and fear and frustration and righteous indignation, which I'm not using ironically at all? Um, or do you also, like me, are you built so that, like me, you also have to have this grounding, this spiritual and emotional grounding in connection um, and a recognition of how good it is to be alive, which means that there are things to feel gratitude for and to be hopeful about. What keeps you in la lucha, in the struggle? What keeps you connected? That's my question. I'd love to see what you have to say in the comments. I hope that I hope that knowing that I'm wrestling with language as well as with my heart and with ideas, um, at least makes us feel not so alone, right? Anyway, the fundamental thing is I love you, and I really hope I get to see you soon.